Nothing about resetting your computer, man. You gotta reset fucking everything. Yeah, it was simple this time. I'd forgot since I tried changing my audio to my speakers that OBS was trying to... For some reason, if I have my computer audio play out the speakers, OBS doesn't recognize that unless I manually switch over. Thing is, I'm not playing the audio out my speakers or headset, doesn't matter. I'm doing bypass audio, so it just had the wrong settings. Don't know why that my computer wasn't playing audio through the computer when I'm switching over to my desktop, but I'll figure that out another time. I don't know if that's fixed now that I reset, but I gotta get all these windows back open now. Yeah, pretty simple. Ooh. My son. Are you at your parents yet? I can't remember if you were doing that this weekend or the next weekend. You had to be out. Probably last weekend, and I've lost my sense of time. Earlier yesterday. That's why the pictures of the doggo. So does your brother just live near them or something? 'Cause that's your brother's dog, right? I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, all he has to do is strike you out, but you have to get a home run. In reality, that'd be insanely hard. Timed it a little late. Maybe that's great power to running throws. Assume that means like in combat. Sons of bitches, man, every weekend. Like a street or two away, pounding their badass bass systems, dude. Like, I'd get it if I heard, like, you know, somebody underneath me or next to me. I wouldn't care that much. But streets away? Like, seriously? That's how you know your music's a little too loud. I can feel it shaking. You guys can usually hear it through my mic. Just shaking the apartment. Yeah, man. Love that bass, baby. All about bass. You're like a fucking 2-year-old, I guess, man. Like a good dad, a good son here. Of course, he's just there randomly. I was loving Yakuza. Everybody who could have any connection to any plot just appears out of thin air and they hear everything. Fuck you. Fuck yeah. Look, man, I just want to fucking hit balls, alright? Want to hit big juicy balls with big fucking solid shafts, man, alright? That's all I'm fucking asking. Leave me alone. He's gonna have a tragic backstory, man. Tragic baseball backstory. So like I said, I wouldn't do much of this yesterday. I was gonna save it for today. But I did every single submission last night. So we only have the actual story ones to do. Which, how long the actual batting takes, it's probably just gonna be pure story. I mean, you only ever have to hit like a few strike or a few hits. Years out of nowhere. It, 5 home runs at 10 pitches. It's such a loser. I'd say this is about middle ground. It's way better than the new one, because the new one's like insanely hard. There's no way to get better other than memorization. I think for a game that, like for a mode that's completely centered on it for somebody's side story, this one has enough like leveling up, enough extra depth with the slow-mo, dodging the ball, and the different like the different ranges you have to hit it to do certain things that it makes it a little bit more exciting than that shitty one. It's really easy though. I think the one in Yakuza 0 where you just like aim it and time it for like a really light mini game is probably the best. But I guess that wouldn't be enough depth for like an entire side game like this. So I don't know, it's different. It's way better than the new one though. But it's like way easier than the Yakuza 0 one. And that one's not too hard. I don't know. I'd say it's a little less fun than the Yakuza 0 one. But not by much. It's still similar, but you really just, I mean, you could get rid of the ball. It's essentially just playing with the UI. So. Failed. I checked the Discord. I didn't see any streams, man. What's wrong, man? How could you do this? To your fans, man. Italian scarf. Yeah, I just don't know why they went from... They go from... I don't know what the batting was like before this, in 3 and 4. But they go from this to zeros, which is zeros is better for a mini game, this is better for a side game. And they go with the new engines, which is horrible. Like the Judgment Kiwami 2 one is like so fucking overkill. It's not fun at all. And you can just cheat super easy. Just the North Star, that one's the best one though. Easily. Oh, no, it was before you came in here, sorry. You came in here before, Ripper asked where this baseball minigame fell in the entirety of all the baseball minigames in Yakuza. I was just saying that Fist of the North Star had the best one. Fist of the North Star, I'd say, is on the higher end of Yakuza games, though. But it purely depends on how much you like the cheesy, like, super toony, like, Fist of the North Star kind of universe. I think it's got some bad subquests that involve too much grinding, but other than that, it's a fun kind of fan service thing for Fist. I definitely think it's a good one, but Goku period, because there's two. Ishin and something else, but They're not in English. Not yet. I don't know if they ever will be. They're supposed to be pretty good. You actually kill people in them. You play as like Kiryu's ancestor or some shit. He just looks exactly like him, and then there's like a Majima one too. Yeah, Judgment's good. It's a one and done, and I'd say it's top 3 out of the ones I've played. I think the combat's a little iffy, but the side games are good. The main story is cool enough. Little drama and murder mystery thing. I mean, it's pretty typical Yakuza, but I'd say it's better than most of them. I don't know. I mean, I'd say Zero, Judgment, or Fist are all fine. Those don't require any pre-knowledge of anything, so it'd be kind of hard to jump to like 5 or 3 or anything. You really have to play them in order, either starting from 0 or starting from 1. But yeah, how come you didn't stream today, man? That's what happened, dude. How could you do that to us, dude? Yeah, I can understand not having the time for these too. They're pretty fucking long. Most of them are. Alright, man. Sure you'll make it up, those. Yeah. Yeah, depending on which one you play, they're definitely different. I heard 6 is like 30 hours maybe. For this game, like just 2 of the stories are like over 30 hours. So I've probably spent, I don't even know how long on this now. Let me see. I'm in part 4 and I've only gotten through like a small chunk of his story. Yeah, 0 is extremely long, but it's the best one. 10 hours. Let's say 4. I don't know about that Game Fest thing. 14, 18. I'd say I've been playing for about 50 to 56 hours already on this one. I would say honestly, you're really, I don't know what they intended. I played 0 first. Most people play 0 first. You're not going to be in any kind of minority, and it's totally fine. I mean, technically, a lot of the characters and events that happen are alluded to from these games. Like, one of the big backstory things with Majima is a character in 4. But, like, it doesn't matter. It's totally made to be totally fine to understand. And if anything, I would play... So, Kiwami 1 and 2, the thing with Kiwami 1 and 2 is they assume in the remakes you've played 0. Because there's sub-stories in the remakes that continue the story from 0. So I feel like, I mean, even though there is a release order, they've like retconned the order you should start with almost to be starting with 0 if you plan on playing the remake. Like, the slot car game has essentially a sequel in Kiwami 1 from 0 and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's technically some references you would understand more in 0 if you play the others first, but in turn, you'll just kind of get those references when you play these. So, like, it's not really a necessity, it's just a... You'll just get references at a different time. You're like, ooh, I remember this from 0 when you play 4. And then you're like, oh, that's cool. And then that's really about it. Like, I would start with 0. Also because it's better than Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2. Kiwami 1 and 2 are like PS1. I mean, the PS2 stories. It feels like a collection of filler episodes, and the pacing's kind of wacky. The stories are good enough, and the presentation isn't bad, but like, I wouldn't say it's the best first jump into the series. It's totally fine as like a second game playing like Kiwami 1, but I'd at least like get to know what the series is like at its peak with Zero. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just remember the big beats of Zero. I couldn't even tell you everything that happened. If you don't plan on playing most of them, just play Zero. It really is not a problem. Most people do it, and that's why they made it, I feel like. Because, like, Kiwami 1 sub-stories are, like, the worst in this series, too, I would say. Because it's not, there's obviously not much budget behind it because it's PS2, and so it's a lot of just like, hey, Kiryu gets tricked by criminals, and it's, like, supposed to be novel because it's like, we're playing a Yakuza game and there's crime and that's crazy, look at this, he's getting tricked, or, oh, he's got to fight these goons real quick, and it's like, it's not really that novel, though, to us. So they just come across as, like, really dull. I don't know. And then Kiwami 2's is, like, gets way more shonen, wacky and shit. Like, I'd say Kiwami 2 is good, but better than Kiwami 1, but, yeah. I would start with Zero, I'd say. Yeah, just start with Zero if you're gonna play Yakuza. Yeah, none of them are bad. I'd say the worst one I've played was 3. And I mean, it was still cool. The things I liked in 3 though were kind of just the family stuff. Yeah. But if you don't want to worry about release orders, you just play Judgment. I mean, Judgment is self-contained. The boss fights, yeah. My biggest gripe, and I talked about it for like an hour with Klitsu yesterday, is the combat for action game combat is not very good. I would say. Yakuza combat is at its best when you're just beating up goons. When they actually try to make things hard, it comes across as really tedious and cheesy. Like infinite blocks. They can start blocking middle of your combo, instant grabs. They knock you on your ass constantly. You're always losing control. Like, it's not fun action game combat. It's really just fun to go beat the shit out of people. And that's where Yakuza Zero's combat shines, is because you just get more options to beat the shit out of people. They don't improve their combat, they just have more. So, like, it makes the parts that are fun about Yakuza more fun. Where the bosses have always been bad. Yeah, that and was it Kiwami 1 or Kiwami 2 had that horrible bosses where they just took years to fight. I don't know why they did that. This one's combat's good enough. It just builds off of the generic combat of 3. But since you have more characters, it kind of gives you a few more options. Yeah, I don't know. If you were just like worried about time, you didn't want to get into the Yakuza games, I feel like, yeah, playing Zero is probably definitely, you know, if you're gonna just do just a little bit of Yakuza, that's probably the best one to go for. But if you don't want to start getting into the story of Yakuza, you could just do Judgment, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna put Fist of the North Star on PC. I wish they would. It was fun. I had fun with it. I feel like it kind of went under the radar. I don't think people knew it was like a Yakuza game that much. And people probably are like, whoa, that's this weird cheesy anime shit, like hyper violent, like, you know, cheesy anime shit, but I thought it was so fun, funny. It was a good time. I don't know that much about Fist of the North Star. I only know what from what I've played of Musou games. I played some old Musou Fist of the North Stars. Last gen. Yippity doo, man. Man. I see Pang's name, I think about Xenoblade, and I'm like, do I want to play Xenoblade Remastered? I don't want to go through the entire game because it's long and I got a lot of games I want to play. But man, I love the areas, and I'd love to see them redone. I don't know. I'll just probably watch somebody play it a bit. I probably won't. But if I wasn't play it, I want to play it when it came out. Yeah, really. I mean, I would probably not do any side quests. I'd probably just skip most of it. The side quests were so bad in Xenoblade Chronicles. In the 3DS, yeah, I would do it again then. Yeah, that's a totally different thing. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody who's doing it. Of course, I kind of want to do it. I just have like this delusion of games I want to play. Yeah, I mean, I heard the 3DS version was good, but I don't think it does it justice, man. Like a small screen for these huge, just really awesome, like, you know, just areas that just look really unique and stuff. I just feel like getting immersed in the world's a big deal, and it's always been harder for me to do that on like a DS. I mean, not like that bad, but yeah, I definitely would. I definitely would do that, man, for sure, if I played it on 3DS. But I played an HD up-res. I can install like a new texture pack for it on the Wii. So like I was already kind of playing it like a little juicier than normal. So I don't know. I don't feel the need to as much. But then again, I really like that game. I still think the world's like super fucking cool. Yeah, I think that's really neat. That kind of scale contained in like such a small, like, you know, deal you could just do on the run is cool. But I don't have enough heat eye. This might be a problem. I have to actually play. Gotta slow now. I think that's what makes it so easy though, is if you have heat eye, you just essentially just slow mo everything. Yosh. Yosha. Alright, spell. robots on them. And of course, do these people just like sit on the other side of the door and just listen, like standing out in front of this place? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Xenoblade, it's like, I'm not really like, scale isn't really like that important to me. Just in general for gameplay. I mean, you get games like Assassin's Creed, which are really big, but they're really like devoid of a lot of like creative looking areas or, you know, cool stuff to do, but I think you can do scale in a way that's really like captivating. Like Xenoblade, like Breath of the Wild, both made by the same people. You know, just really big areas that I think the visuals kind of get you into it. And then you can kind of explore them too. And there's a lot more verticality in Xenoblade and Breath of the Wild, where a lot of big open world games nowadays are just kind of like ride your horse in a straight line with waypoints and just kind of mindlessly go across some flat wasteland or something. It's like, eh. I just thought, I don't know, maybe it was just the visuals for me. Like the concept that you're on two giant robots and all the different terrains and like areas you could be in, and they were all like really well realized, really different, you know, like the giant, like the fucking snowy mountains and the crazy plains and the mech areas, and it was just really cool. And there's so much verticality and shit. I just feel like it was so visually good that it always made you like into exploring them, right? Like maybe the side quests weren't even that good, but like the visuals and like the level design was so sweet that like it didn't even matter how shitty the fucking side stuff was, which just shows how solid that it was. Where you'll play something new and it's like really fucking like maybe the side quests are decent, but like the world's like nothing special or not creative or in any way. It just doesn't keep you as long, I guess. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, X had a lot of that. I didn't dig super hard into X's side content, and I didn't like the setting as much. The novelty of the two giant robots was really cool in Xenoblade Chronicles, because you're always seeing it in the skyline and shit. And I think that really helped set the mood. That and the feeling of a journey was done like the best, I think, in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like X and 2 didn't really have as good of a journey feel. Like it didn't feel like you're really, I mean, I guess Chronicles 2 you did a bit, but like you're really like progressing, moving forwards in 1. But X had a really nice looking world for just being one giant landmass. I like that, especially when you got the mech. There's a lot of extra little things to do, but I didn't go super deep on connecting all the satellites and or whatever the fuck they were and all that shit. Yeah, no, I can respect that for sure. Yeah, I just think it's just super like awesomely crafted open world. But it's like a series of open world, right? Like so that they can have variety and like, you know, maybe linear parts and details and stuff. It's not just like this one giant mass that has to exist. And but even in X where they have one giant mass, they make it work. They just know how to make visually like creative areas that still have like enough depth to like have them be explored and still be fun the whole way through you travel it, right? Like you want to explore, you want to travel it because of the way it looks, because of how it's laid out. That's why Breath of the Wild was good. That's why they had Monolith make Breath of the Wild's world. They've got a good idea of like, you know, visually like commanding like stuff in the skylines and the horizon and shit to make you want to like go there and let you still interact with like most of the world. Like you can climb everything Breath of the Wild and there's shit hidden everywhere and it looks good. I know it's like you want to explore, right? They make it like it invokes that kind of feeling. Instead of just being like an ass creed where yeah, you could explore, but it's like fucking boring as hell. Did you? Yeah, see, I didn't 100% X. I mainly did story with a assortment of side content. I've heard that the side, like 100%ing, it's definitely like a highlight. Yeah, I mean, I would say that the Chronicles games have a better slew of content. But being able to like scale everything and like sneak around and like find little details and stuff, I feel like in Breath of the Wild made it more fun to actually like want to just walk around and explore. In Chronicles 1, I was always like just captivated by the way it looked. I liked exploring, but like Breath of the Wild, I really just wanted to like do the gameplay part of it, not just see stuff. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's an issue. I hope in the next one there's more visual variety on areas. And if you didn't do Koroks, I would say there's not as much content either. I like the shrines, but I hope they do something else in the next one. The shrines usually had like a cool puzzle, or they would just kind of be there and you had to like mess with them. I would say either more shrines and cut the Koroks, or cut the Koroks and replace it with like something different. Especially because after a while the Koroks felt like a chore. Yeah, I feel like if you don't do the Koroks in any way though, then there's a lot less reason to explore Breath of the Wild. Because really what else is there? There's Koroks, story, and shrines. So it's fun to like find all the shrines and do Koroks wherever you can. But hopefully the next one they add a little bit more. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's cool you can climb everything, but I guess sometimes, yeah. Maybe it'd be nice if you didn't just climb giant cliffs all the time in some places. Like if mountains had more ways to get up them, or if there was like interesting little side content to get you up a mountain, or instead of just climbing it. Some platforms or some enemies or so. I don't know exactly. Who knows? I like Breath of the Wild a lot. I like Xenoblade Chronicles a lot. They both have good worlds, but I guess they have kind of different focuses. Like Breath of the Wild's world looks good, but it's not even half as creative as Chronicles' world. But I feel like Breath of the Wild has better exploration mechanics. It just doesn't have as many details as Chronicles. But Breath of the Wild also has like puzzly exploration elements. For Chronicles is mainly just like MMO style content. Oh really? I don't know, I never got that feel as much. I mean, they definitely railroad you to do the water place first, but you don't have to. I mean, after you do the plateau, you could kind of just go wherever. I guess like they might just give you like text prompts and stuff to go do something else. So. The only thing I ever got bored with in Breath of the Wild was kind of my own fault, I guess. I would always like comb every inch of the map, and there's a point just to get Korok and shit. And there's a point where like that just gets boring, and that's why they only require you to get like a third of the Koroks, because they don't want you to just like OCD go over every ounce of everything. Yeah, see the bird jump thing was the last thing I got. I think one of the biggest problems of the game is, one, there's not enough abilities. Two, the bird jump is so fucking useful, but it's like the farthest thing away from the starting point, so most people wouldn't get it till the end or like third, like I did. I always tell people, if you're gonna play it, just go to the top left dungeon first, dude. Like, the other shit's not even like half as cool. I guess that was an issue too, I suppose, was like, I always felt like I had to wear all of the bandana gear because it made it so your stamina didn't drop as hard. Also, there was a lot of like weird techniques to make sure you could keep climbing stuff. Like running on the side like a sheer cliff, but like running on a certain like polygon So you could like regain your stamina, then grab back on. There's a lot of like weird techniques that you could, I guess, master to make the climbing less annoying, but if you didn't do any of that, it was way more annoying to like climb probably, which would make the exploration a little more a pain in the ass. Rain was horrible. Rain was another big problem with exploration. You'd be climbing for like 3 minutes up a cliff, and then it just starts raining, and you just slide down it. It's like, okay. There's like way too much rain. That did not need to be a thing. Maybe they could have had like a upgrade eventually that made it so you could climb through the rain, but I don't know. I mean, you either did those kind of stamina techniques or you like ate mushrooms as you were climbing, which works too, I guess, but I don't know. The bird jump's like more fun though than like trying to like game the system or eating while you're climbing, right? That's why I wish you got it earlier. What was the other one even? There's the Gyrudo one where you like have a defense shield. No wait, that wasn't the Gyrudo one. I think the Gyrudo one just like hits enemies. Then there was the shield from the Gorons. And then I don't even remember the Zora one. Really only the bird one's cool. I don't know. I think the exploration in the world is just like so interesting and fun enough to explore, at least for me, that I still think it's an awesome game. It's funny though, I think it's one of the few games I'd say that I always call really awesome, but has like an absolute shitload of issues. I think the parts Breath of the Wild does well. It does it so well that it somehow eclipsed a slew of other issues like the lack of items and traditional dungeons and you know the rain, the lack of music. Sometimes the visual variety not being super great, like you know, the story is shit. The power-ups are really imbalanced, like they're way better. The bird one's way better. The breakable weapons aren't like that fun. I'd rather have like permanence of upgrades and shit so I can feel some kind of progression or kind of enjoy like a reward of exploration more than just like a heart. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked it, but I pretty much the reward for exploring was just like just to do it, right? Gerdo, free health when you die on cooldown. Oh, okay. Yeah, like there's a shitload of issues. The bosses were shit, except like maybe Form 1 of Final Ganon's fight. Like, really the game has the VA is horrible. Like really the game has a lot of issues, but like I just felt like the exploration was, you know, it gave me a unique feeling. There's not many games where I feel like I want to just explore, just go and just it's more hands off and you just go and explore. It's like there's not really that much like that. I mean, I feel like Outer Wilds is like that, but I think that feeling was captured pretty well despite its fault. But I wish people would do more creative shit. Like it kills me when I keep getting the same Ubisoft bullshit. And then you get something that's as flawed as Breath of the Wild but still like fresh enough and then, you know, executed well enough where it needs to be that like I'll just get like a unique feeling. I don't know where I was going with that sentence, but I'm rambling. Just like, okay, I just need to get over this. Oh, okay, I read that already. Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like I don't want to say Xenoblade Chronicles has the most like interesting areas to look at in terms of like scale and kind of the wonder of it all that makes you want to explore, but like if somebody said that to me, I would not say they're wrong. Like I don't really like picking singles out of the entire video game lineup. Like, oh yes, this has the most visually interesting world, like you know, but pretty up there. I think the usage of scale, not just to show people, wow, we have a lot of content, but to kind of like get you captivated is just like really good. We're really well done in that. That's what I like the most about it. And the music was great, which added a lot to the ambience of each area. Like on the snowy mountain and shit where you get the cool piano music and I don't know. Really, if Xenoblade Chronicles had good side content, it'd be like an unholy good game. Like it's a great game already, but like the side content's so bad. I don't even mind the combat. Like I mean, it's pretty cooldown MMO based, but it's cool. I don't know. It's not a big problem because of the positionals. I think Chronicles 2 has more depth in combat, but it's a little bloated sometimes. And the fights are too fucking long, man. Like you gotta to really like get godly in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you're like prepping essentially for like 3 minutes in the middle of the fight, then you go ape shit. Which is still fun, but I don't know. Chronicles 2 just does side content better than Chronicles 1, I felt like. That was kind of where it shined. Otherwise the story and the world wasn't as good. The music was still good. Yeah, pretty much. Especially Chronicles 2, man. Holy fuck, that's a massive UI and just systems. But it works by the end, you understand it. It's not like Tales of Berseria, where they just keep throwing little systems and details and you never really feel like you are mastering the system, but you're still winning, even against the hardest content. Like, it was so wacky. Like, I never feel like I fully understood everything in Berseria, but I still would, like, win. It's just so it just gives you this really unsatisfying feeling, even though it has a little bit more action feel to it than the old ones. Yeah, exactly, man. Where X is pretty much the same shit as 1, but they just threw a mech and ranged attacks in there. I don't know, and I feel like Chronicles 1, you get enough variety by being able to switch your characters that, you know, it forgoes the need for all these extra systems and stuff. Like, oh, you're tired of being Shulk and just doing positionals and shit? Well, play Sheila or something, you know? Like, play Fiona. Like, if I did that. Does it have a high skill cap? I don't really remember where the depth was in it. It felt very similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but it had a lot more menuing and optimization of like your mech and your gear and stuff. Like there was like I remember sitting there for like an hour or two just looking through like a bunch of stats and menus and shit when we got our mechs and stuff. Stack the orbs though, yeah. Fucking Chronicles did. I don't know. I think a big part of Chronicles 2's issue with its combat isn't really the combat itself. I think it's how it's delivered. Like you said, there's not really great tutorials. The visuals on the screen are like fucking like look like I'm playing some crazy like shitty mobile game. Like everything I feel like could be fed to you better and streamlined a bit so that you could understand how to like utilize the combat more. Because I mean, you know, you feel like once you master the combat, which is like I feel like 2/3 of the way through, like it's not a big deal, but when it becomes too easy, I don't know. It's this weird deal where when you finally get it, it's too easy. I feel like too much of the difficulty is even just figuring out what the hell's going on. But it's not the hardest thing to figure out. Like I said, there's games it's just hard to ever understand the combat at all. I think I had less problems with Chronicles 2 combat than most people, but it's still visually like a shit fucking clusterfuck. You can kill world bosses in 2 seconds, not just using the super rare robots on foot. Oh yeah, that's what I definitely can attest to that. It looked like there was a lot of optimization you could do through RPG mechanics. The spreadsheet? I never looked at any spreadsheets. But I do remember there's like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is essentially like you fuck around for 5 minutes because every fight's like 10 minutes long, and like you're essentially just prepping up for these like super windows, like with these crazy snapshots where you do like shitloads of fucking damage because all of your meters are full and you're getting all your people out and doing crazy shit. I don't remember exactly how it all worked, but thing is they keep introducing new shit all the way to the end, don't they? For the most part. Like there was like reasons at the very end I could do like insane bullshit because they introduced a few new things. Well, some of the blade stuff with Rex. Yeah, that's when I had the most fun with it. Like it was cool, but by the time I went to the end and I understood everything, you could just shit on everything. Like a good blade setup that you liked. So that was fun. Yeah. I feel like Chronicles 2 had like better actual like side content than the first one and shit. Even if it was like way more weeb. Only Chronicles 1 had like a little bit more significant content in it than just the like really generic MMO style quest to level up your towns and all that crap. It really survives based on atmosphere and the story and all that. I mean, I guess really it does well on everything but the side content. I mean, where else does... I mean, you could say the combat in the first one's not like amazing, but like, I think it's more than good enough for an RPG. I feel like the only place Chronicles 1 stumbles is side content. Unless you're really into the like, the OCD, like 100% kind of feel. The mindless shit. One of those party members only 2 blades, one of those common blade? Really? Yeah, see, I never messed with the common blades or anything. I think I used the crazy, like, tan skin, like, psycho titty, like, melee, like, combat girl. She was like, she was, I think it was like the white hair one. I don't remember her name. No, like, as a blade with, like, Rex. Like her whole deal was that she was like a combat sexual pretty much. She was like super duper strong, like physically or whatever. I used her a lot for like my big damage, I think, and some of my burst. The affinity grind. I didn't get too deep into going crazy on the affinity grind because there was so much that was only certain times a day and like missable. Nah, I had to find her name. There's so many of them, right? Not an actual character. I remember using this chick a lot. I think she was big damage for me. I have to find out who and what now. One doesn't have pictures. Oh yeah, sorta. It was Zenobia. I remember Zenobia was really good, like, physical damage for me. I remember who else I really used a lot. I mean, I used everybody a good bit just because of the side quests, but... Man, this Newt chick. That one, man, that one wasn't around when I was playing. That's the one that looks like my speed, man. I think I used Cora a good bit too. Yeah. The Minge. I need to move my chair back a bit. I get too close to like, so it's hard to get focused sometimes. Like I get like more dizzy just because there's like more screen in my way. So was there any big like technical problems with the 3DS version? That was like one of the only like new 3DS games. Like I don't think you could play it on a normal 3DS. I'm not sure. Like did it run okay and shit? Okay, nice. That's not bad then for 3DS. Have they showed off some of the areas in the remaster? Or have they just kind of shown like generic trailers and character changes? Yeah, I definitely feel like a tiny screen doesn't really give the scale of the areas much justice. There is no score. Everybody's just like pissed at him for like something that's super one-sided. Oh, I need to get some fucking feet. I forgot. Shit. We're gonna have to do this like all natural, man. Only one way this can end. My balls and your back. Oh yeah. I forgot they did that. At least not having heat means I have to actually do this normally, which is, I guess, entertaining in its own right. Not like I really need the slow-mo to win, but... So have they said if the epilogue's gonna have like actually new areas as well? Or is it just like a new story? Like I know all the areas are remastered and shit, which I'm looking forward to seeing those. And that'd be enough reason for me to probably want to play it, but... I don't know if this epilogue is like super... I feel like if I was gonna rent it, I would just play the whole thing again instead of just the epilogue. But man, it's so long. I really don't know if I want to get into it, even though I really like it. Takes place on Bionis' left shoulder. Where was Bionis' left shoulder. Like, what areas? Okay, I was like, I thought we went to, like, the thigh and, like, the chest and all that weird shit, but... Okay, that'd be cool if it was new, then. Oh, okay. What matter that... Is it Melia and Shulk getting shipped, man, now? Oh, actually, the name is Kino. Base. Oh shit, dude. What happened to Fiona, man? Go fuck some robot people or something instead? Or Fiora. I liked Fiora Shulk better, but I felt bad for Melia, man. Just be like Rex, dude. Just fuck everybody, man. Everybody wins, dude. The Shulk will after 10 years, so long, man. Finally. I don't want this. Oh, buddy, there's... You can't get out that way, there's a fence. Oh. I use Melia the least. I think I liked her gameplay. Wait, did I? I think I used her the least. I was all about Rhine time tanking, and then I think I went dodge tank, Dunban. Yeah. I used Sheila a lot, or whatever her name was. I played Sheila a lot, actually, because her AI was kind of weird. So I liked playing the healer sometimes. And I had a lot of Fiora as well. I was a big fan of the robot ass cheeks. And her damage was really good. She was pretty fun because she was quick. I don't think I used Amelia much, because you had to play her pretty much yourself. I didn't use Riki or whatever his name was either very often. He was like that weird ass tank. I didn't play Donban himself much, but I did have him tanking a lot. I mean, I did play him, but I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna play Donban for the next few hours. Are we maxed? Yeah, I played the gun healer chick, Dunban, Ryan, Fiora, and Shulk a lot. Of course, Shulk. I think once I got Dunban going though, I kind of retired Ryan. Ryan was really fun for a while, but once you get Dunban and he's actually like got his fun dodge shit and stuff, I played him more. Shulk was pretty boring, but he was like, at least, I don't know, I won't say solid, but like, he's the most simple, which was fun to come back to occasionally. He was pretty simple but effective. I think I played him the most until Fiora. Then I just did Fiora pretty much all the time, and Sheila and shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, he was effective and solid, he just wasn't, like, the most complicated. I mean, it makes sense that he'd be the most simple. I would say that Shinada's side story-wise, is, like, the worst one. Hunting bears was, like, a way better story. The idol shit. The idol thing was like, I guess the dance battle thing wasn't that good. No, it was better than this. And the racing wasn't bad either. Shinada's like side game gameplay is fun enough, like the batting's fun enough, but it's nothing crazy. I would say this is probably the worst side game, but it's still fun. Yeah, it took a while. I remember using Ryan a lot in the snow area and a few areas past a lot of that. But yeah, once you got them grinds going on non-ban, it was pretty fun. Yeah. This pic seems to have screens of the new areas. Oh, really? Who's this? Who's this little dude? Is this Kino? More cutesy fucking pon dudes? Fuck those guys, I've had enough of them. Yeah, Book looks fucking weird in some of these. Gotta be a no pawn named Kino, right? Damn, some of these areas look pretty nice, huh? They also look kind of basic. I'm looking at an FF14 area. Like, I like that it's floating in the sky and all that shit, but like, the actual layout, I wonder how cool that is. I mean, the big wheat plains is neat, I guess. In the town. Interesting. There's 2 new no pawns, man. Come on, dude. Nay. Replacement mother? The mother no pawn could be good. So it's just gonna be Shulk and fucking... fucking Melia, dude. Based? Is that based, boys? Oh, what are the changes, yeah? Let's see here. I guess I could like open it up on the stream. Fog Beast, those are just like super bosses. Opons. Range BGMs. I don't want a range, thank you. Quest log is better. Active quest, okay. Oh, Colony 6 is better? I don't even remember doing all the Colony 6 reconstruction. Oh, really? See, that'd be nice. That was one of the worst parts about it, is that the side content wasn't fun, but it was also fucking tedious on it. On top of everything, like, you didn't know the info without guides, pretty much. Yeah, I didn't do any of that, really. I mean, I dabbled in all of it. Like, I would go talk to everybody and fuck around with their quest a bit, but for the most part, I just skipped most of the side quests in that game. It was really dull. Fashion equipment's really good. Every game needs that kind of shit. Passion makes things more fun. Oh yeah, I didn't 100% the game by any means, I don't think. I didn't just skip everything, but I definitely did not do everything. I did everything in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, oddly enough. Or bad, I mean I did all the Blades side quests. Yeah, I didn't do every affinity thing. Or whatever the fuck they were. The towns. Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Did not level all the towns up. Good, I don't have any heat again. Whoops. That's another problem with this one is you need heat from like battles outside. I mean, I might be able to do it without heat, but heat's really important, especially for like a final thing. I might just have to like lose or something. We'll see what happens. I mean, I could probably do it, but if I have to do it on the first hit, then we're gonna have an issue. Maybe. I need 5 home runs and 10 pitches. Oh God. Yeah, the assortment of like fucking disgusting bullshit. Yeah, the battling street punks before going to bat. Pretty special. Oh shit, dude. 1 outs. Bakana. Oh, is there? How is the gameplay in Little Busters? I guess we don't need slow-mo. Showing in my true power. Yosha! Yeah, I didn't even know there was like gameplay in any of those VNs. Hitting a bunch of pitches, yeah. Baseball man plays baseball. Redeemed. Comfy's good. I could go for a wholesome comfy VN. Wonder if I could rent Little Busters. I don't know, I guess I got a lot of options. It doesn't have to be Little Busters. Code Realize Wintertide Miracles, boys. We'll rent that one. I know you guys are like, man, KD, I really need more Fujo boys, man. And you're the only stream on Twitch that can provide me that. So I'll help you. I will rent Wintertide Miracles one of these days. We'll continue our Bisha Boy, Otome, VN experience. We're gonna date Sherlock again. I think my dude of choice was fucking Van Helsing, but he was like just that edgy chuny, but like Sundre. Fucking gun. Gun. I didn't even know there was guns in Little Busters. Maybe that's a spoiler for click. Don't click. Who knows? Gun girl. But yeah, date Sherlock. I rented the last Code Realize, but we actually didn't do all of the epilogues. I did all the new stories, and I think we did a couple of the dating epilogues in Future Blessings, but for the most part I kind of just like wasn't super interested in doing the like the romance epilogues. Because I mean really Code Realize did not have like a bad like steampunk look to it, and the story wasn't really that bad either. The romance was like there, but like that was like the least of my interests, man. But it was funny. I mean, we did do some of the romance plots, but I didn't do them all. Yeah, Wintertide Miracles has 2-on-1 dates. Whoa. Fellas. Can bring multiple members of the gang on a wide variety of romantic romp. Wowee. Sherlock Holmes and Van Helsing at once. Yeah, she had the hologram or whatever the fuck gem, which made her skin like acidic, unless she had special gloves and stuff. So she couldn't be touched, but no romance. Yeah, the main story was really pretty decent, and the steampunk and visuals was pretty solid. Like, and there was a pretty big variety of routes that played out very differently. It had fucking the Sherlock Holmes one had like the evil, who's the evil guy in the Sherlock Holmes stories. I mean, it had all that and the mystery and conspiracies, and there's like the crazy high tech steampunk shit and end of the world stuff. Yeah, Moriarty. Like, I mean, really, the romance is there, but it's like, it's pretty much like it just has to be there because that's an Atomic game. It's not like it really matters. I feel like if I played Amnesia, that's like pure romance. The fan discs definitely have more romance in them out of the one I've played for Code Realize, but they still had like a main story. Like the Sherlock story was in the new one, then there's the Finnish story, but then it also had like the gangster story or whatever, and it was pretty decent. Maybe we'll do Wintertide Miracles for shit. I mean, it's obviously a pretty popular Otome. Considering they keep making more of them, dude. Surprised they just haven't made like a second one. They keep making fan discs. Oh god, this one seems super focused on the romance, dude. It'll be at least funny. I played Code Realize originally just because I thought maybe it'd be kind of like just funny to play like a Fujo Otome like fucking romance game, but really it was not bad. It was like a totally serviceable VM. Really one of the better steampunk stories I've ever read. Not that there's many, but I think if you like steampunk, it's really not bad at all. Okay, what was it? It was Lupin, Frankenstein, Van Helsing, Sherlock Holmes, or Sherlock Sholmes. I think that was his name, or did they call him Sherlock Holmes? No, the twist was that he was Sherlock Sholmes, but then he was actually Sherlock Holmes, I think. That was in the new one. Like his real identity or some weird shit, I don't remember. Yeah, what a fucking twist. I think it was just like a light twist. Oh yeah, I forgot his partner was there too. Watson or whatever. Who else was it? Lupin. Oh, there was that one mechanic guy. I don't really remember his name. I'm sure he was some famous dude in some book too. And there was Saint Germain. He had like that weird yandere thing going on, where like he kidnapped her or some shit. That was really fucking odd. Yeah, that game had a bunch of like weird like magic shit too. I forgot that game was a lot of actual like funky lore and stuff. It's a good, just like big like adventure kind of like action. Like the scale like and all that. Like, oh, it's a good little like kind of Hollywood action with some light romance shit in a steampunk world. It's not bad. A shitty Otome one we played was Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly. That sucked. That was not very good. I've thought about playing the other one in that series that's supposed to be better. I think it's like something Wings of the Ashen Hawk or some shit. Yeah, Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly. You think it's gonna be some like horror thriller with romance, but it's really just dull and just very poorly written. It's not fun at all, even though it's in like this kind of like interdimensional like horror mansion. I'm full of mystery. You're like, man, this is gonna be cool, dude, but like it's not cool like at all. If anybody's been here to watch this story, I hope you've enjoyed me pausing for 10 minutes at a time on each fucking line, dude. I mean, we'll focus more in when we're actually doing real story. This baseball story is not very interesting. Man, look at those clouds, dude. Remastered. You guys think there's repeating textures in the back of that field? I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. I feel like there might be a few repeating textures there. Just... the story of this, if the setup for this story was better, it'd be fine. But like, this dude is literally angry at Shinada for something he did in junior high that is arguably not even a problem. He like, it was essentially, you know, the final hit of the final game. They knew it was a guy who was like a really hardcore pitcher, and instead of just doing like a like a foul or a walk or whatever, he went for the hit. And so this guy was angry at him that he went for it and ended up losing them the game, even though this guy has the capability, you know, and he knew he could do it, but he flubbed it. But this guy's like angry for like 20 years, it like ruined his life. It's like a junior high baseball game. This guy's been like pissed for 20 whole years about it. Talks about how it ruined his life and all this shit, and he blames him because he thinks that he's a cocky bastard who went for the ball and didn't have the skills, but he did have the skills, and it just was one of those things that just didn't work out. It's like, it's such a shitty setup. Like, who the fuck's angry about some wacky fucking game from junior high for 20 years? And there's all these other characters with the same issue. Like, like fuck. If it was like 6 months ago, like maybe, dude, but like, to the baseball minigame, yeah, the story itself is pretty bad. The mini stories have been fine, like with the kid and with some of the people he helps with, like, learn about baseball and some of their issues, like the dad with the son who was gonna accept the bribe and shit. But like the actual main story, not only is it very short compared to the others, it's not very good. Oh, now he did it because he was worried about Shirko, of course. Yeah, really, it's 20 years ago, buddy. Fucking forget about it. Well, you guys could probably hear that. Turned up the volume a little bit on my speakers, but we'll see. Is there? I've been browsing TV a lot more in the last few days. I always enjoy it. Fucking Lord of the Rings tax posting one. What is a tax posting? I feel like I should know. Oh, Fred Willard died? Shit. I can imagine what it is. I probably know, I just don't know it by name. Gondor calls for economic aid. Yeah, I just found it. I always like the Lord of the Rings one where it's like he hits the pipe or whatever, and then he goes on this big like Mary or whatever, like hits his pipe and goes on this big spiel about why having a daughter is like being the ultimate cuck or whatever. It's a good copy pasta. There it is. Can't believe I'm linking to Know Your Meme. Usually the second picture's not there. The ultimate and final pick. Find the halflings. Dude, it's so cool seeing Wormtongue in Mystery, man. His acting was actually pretty decent. This thread's actually pretty funny. I can't say some of this on stream. The post where Gandalf is sitting outside of Moria trying to fucking open the door. No, the threads were fucking Mary's, like, or Pippin's doing the singing always. They replaced fucking Pippin singing with like a fucking like Disturbed song or some random shit. Like some insane Clown Posse lyrics or something. I always enjoy Lord of the Rings fucking shit posting though. Shit's timeless in every form. The shit's still going, man. Why do they always walk that way? There's clearly a fence. Where are you gonna go? That's not how baseball fucking outdoor stadiums work, dude. You need to go out the fucking door. Bobby posting? I'm trying to remember Bobby posting. This credit cannot recover the currencies of the hill. Man. I've never seen tax posting. Yeah, what is Bobby posting? Oh, that guy. Yeah. I remembered a lot of those. There was a lot of good Game of Thrones ones. Too bad the fucking ending of that show totally just took the sales out of like anything that was funny or talked about with it. I wonder if the ending of that show, like the last season or two, affected like the careers of any of those actors. Like I don't remember the dwarf guy's name, but he was a decent enough actor. I wonder if he like gets work or any of those guys do. The chick who plays the Dragon Queen lady was in a few movies, I think, recently, but I doubt anything big. Bobby B. That's like first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, man. When the shit was actually really good. Peter Dinklage, yeah. Yeah, he was in an X-Men movie. I mean, he was getting a lot of work. I mean, he was like Destiny. He was getting like a decent amount of work when Game of Thrones was going. I just wonder in the last year how it's been for any of them. If Game of Thrones like killed it, or is it gonna get like a Daniel Radcliffe thing where they do like weird ass indie shit? Yeah, he wasn't that good in Destiny 1 if I remember right. It just sounded like him just being him, and then again I feel like the voice direction was probably bad because that whole game was pretty bad. Was he doing weird shit before? Oh, okay. I've not really known him since, or outside Game of Thrones. Did HBO, I heard HBO showed a pilot for the new Game of Thrones spinoff, but it was like shit, so they're not doing it. I mean, imagine because there's less hype now too. Wouldn't surprise me if they're just not bothering at all. Who knows though? I don't know. Wow, we finished the story, dude. And I don't care. That was really quick overall. I mean, I spent like, what, an hour or two on it last night doing sub-stories? Maybe just an hour? Probably about two, maybe. You know, an hour and a half. And today, and I talked for almost the entire time for an hour. This entire minigame is essentially like a 2.5, 3, maybe 4 hour thing. Interesting. Definitely the shortest of them all. With the shittiest story. I mean, really, you spend more time going to the bar trying to get like the superpowers for it from your coach than anything. And that was like super dull. New baseball gear. Who cares? All side stories completed. I mean, I guess I could buy the new baseball gear in case they're gonna have me do it in the main story. It's possible. Let's go to the M story as well. Oh, he does? That's good. Peter was pretty solid. The Daenerys actor, I didn't ever like her acting at all. I mean, I'm not saying I want her to, like, not succeed, but I don't care really as much about what happened with her. Yeah. Yeah, Dinklage was pretty good. I remember who else was. I mean, Sean Bean was good, or whatever, but I mean, he ain't really doing much of that shit yet, but by the end, you know. Oh, I have too much stuff. And let me just put it away somewhere, dude. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's probably true. I always wonder how a lot of actors who only get like extremely minor roles like once or twice a year like survive, but that still might be pretty decent money. And who knows what other kind of events and stuff they're doing on the side or uncredited shit they do. And Dinklage is probably doing more than all that. I mean, I guess you don't have to just be in the limelight to really like make a living from that. I mean, I heard voice acting was pretty hard. I don't know if it still is, but like to make a living. But that was like that was when I watched a documentary on it, like the 90s. Like it was like a 90s, early 2000s kind of one, like an English dub. Like talk. A lot of people like Steve Bloom and shit. Where it was really hard to make it. Then nowadays it might not be as big a deal. Predator 2, a forgettable soundtrack to second movie. One's a House and Blair from royalties alone. Really? Holy shit. That's crazy, man. It's crazy that if you just do like even the most minor thing for something that's got some level of popularity, like just money, man, just you can get like a pretty decent amount of money. And you bust your fucking ass doing something that's not as popular. You get like nothing. I mean, that's just how the world works. I'm not like sad about it. It's just kind of funny. You can, yeah, you could be set for life or something off of like Predator 2 soundtrack. See, boys, I could become famous. And I could have a house in Bel Air where I just stream. Texas make scrap. Okay. Yeah, I feel like VA work probably just pays less in general. Just because it's like tradition pretty much, because it's always paid low. I'm sure nowadays it gets paid a lot more because like games have gotten bigger and VA work has been respected a bit more, at least in the West. I mean, I bet Japanese VAs get paid a fucking tailload. Yeah, like those are the outliers, right? Like I'm sure dudes like Crispin and Johnny Young Bosch and shit get paid pretty good too, but it's just a different culture around it, I guess, out here. Like celebrities and anything relating to movies gets paid for a shitload out here, even though games makes as much, but I'd be curious to know how much, yeah, they do get paid. Like, I imagine it's a lot better now than it used to be in general. But I'm guessing there's a very clear cut, like, you've made it, or like you're doing like AAA video games and you're not kind of pretty big paid difference. Or in Japan, I'm sure they all get paid pretty decently. A-list VA? Jesus, dude. Oh, I've seen this picture before, yeah. It's crazy they get paid that much. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, is there a really good, like, calculated reason for that? Or is it just kind of like, it's just kind of spiraled into that, and it's just the way it is, so that's just how they keep doing it? Like, I guess it would be hard to, like, not pay them, but if everybody did it, then, like, it wouldn't be... I mean, less pay, less pay, I don't know. I do not know the market. As long as it is yours to a profit, really. That one's pretty good. But voice actors in Japan do a lot more than just voices, right? I mean, so same with the West, but I mean, they're at events, their faces, they're super well known. It's like like a normal celebrity out here. Not that I think that means that they're justified in what they get paid, but I imagine they're a seller in Japan for some stuff. Kind of like how some people will watch movies because of certain actors out here. I personally don't give a shit. I mean, I do watch certain movies if there's an actor, but that isn't going to stop me from watching a movie. But I guess it's a similar thing to that, right? Because they're live action. I mean, I'm sure there's celebrities in their live action, but it's not the same level as like Hollywood. So like, there's less of a power gap in between their live action and their voice acting. Didn't we talk about the Dio voice actor being like super based? Like he's willing to do like really low paying jobs just so he can like voice act more because he likes it so much. I think that's like Giga based one. He does pretty good work too. I mean, that's what I heard from somebody in here is like he'll take small jobs even though he's like really big just because he enjoys it so much. That's probably why I hear him in a lot of like random shit. Because he's probably like a really highly paid one, I imagine. Kono Dioda. I enjoy his voice work. I wonder how much voice work Kiryu's voice actor does. He's got a good voice, but I've only ever heard him in like super minor roles. Like he was one demon in like fucking Strange Journey Redux, or you know. stuff like that. Because there's those voice actors that I like, and then I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. They've got good voices. They've got to be popular, but they might not be. I don't know. I just want to hear the based priest and more stuff. I don't hear him often enough. He might just have like range, who knows? Like I just wouldn't know that I heard him. Rokobe Shonen, is that his name? Oh, okay, that's what he says. Have you been hearing him a lot? Yeah, I don't know the guy's name. I've heard him in, I mean, a decent amount of shit, but not as much as I'd expect. The voice he has.
別に大したことないよ。
なんかあったの？
ミルクちゃん、忘れちゃいたい過去ってある？
そりゃこんな仕事しとるとね、覚えとりたいことの方が少ないがね。
そっか。
時々ね、自分のことを誰も知らん街に行って別の自分になってやり直したいって思う時あるわ。
I like how Yakuza hair, like look at the back of her hair, like the curls, they're like glued to her outfit. The only thing that like stretches and moves, and it is just stretching, is like the hair between top of her head and those curls. It's just not like the hair on her neck.
俺もそう思ってこの街で生きるようになってもう15年。
懐かしいがね。たっちゃんが初めてこのお店に来た日。
あの日は寂しくてしょうがなかった。誰でもいいから俺のことを知らない人と話がしたい気分だった。で入ったのがこの下の太ももクラブ。
Club Fuda Mama。
私確かフリーの50分。
ミルクちゃんは何も聞かずに抱きしめてくれたんだよね。
そりゃそうだわ。それが仕事だで。
そう。ミルクちゃんにとっては仕事。でも俺はミルクちゃんのぬくもりに触れたから変な道に進むことなく踏みとどまれたんだ。それなのに。ねえ、二人でどっか行っちゃわない？明日の始発でこの街を出るんだ。
素敵ね。映画みたい。
知らない街に行って知らない人間になってさ。
どうせなるんだったら私小学校の先生になりたいがね。小さい頃の夢だったんだわ。
It's such a
なれる
fucking
さ、
like
絶対なれるって。別の自分でも
fucking
俺
wacky
は何にな
ass.
ろう。あ、そうだな。
はい、フリーで40分。はーい、今すぐ降ります。ありがとね、たっちゃん。さあ、向き合わないかんわね。現実に。
ミルクちゃ
ん。もう逃げるには遅すぎるんだわ。
Dude is fucking somehow always stalking him everywhere. Like, Jesus, dude. Like, how does he always fucking got this dude's number? Does he do nothing else other than just stalk this man, trying to get his money back? Dangerously based duo. There's a few of those, man. Celtian or boy toy? Or chick with all black clothes and her oh yeah. The ones who ride in the back of Steve Bloom's van or whatever usually. Yeah. They were pretty bad. They were pretty good in the final season. I will say this guy's main story though is actually pretty cool so far. I'm interested in the mystery. It's also a lot of like little things from the other culminating into it, so I'm curious about his career and what happened, and how he was set up, and how it's gonna turn into some really silly Yakuza fucking conspiracy plot and what Daigo's up to. And he's a fun character, and he's different because he's more the silly guy and the horn dog and stuff. And his current occupation as a journalist for the sex industry is pretty good. Yeah, it was a good show. I like the music. I like the kind of how Bakano kind of had that too, with the split main character focus, and it had a lot of really diverse characters that were all fun and shit. And really can't go wrong. I liked Durara. It was good. Celti's still my top waifu picks, man. Top tier, I would say. Always enjoyed that character. What the fuck did I even get? She had a lot of those, that one scenes. Which one in particular? There's a lot of like sexy time ones with her husband, or she was in the bikini or whatever, I think. On the porch that one time. She seduced in the dark, yeah. Mamma mia, yeah, exactly. It was so good because it's like, she's like that awkward but like wholesome. Oof. But then they get the novelty of being the Dullahan and shit. Mamma mia. Yeah, that was a good like pairing, man. I like those two. That fucking point. Steamed him like a steamed clam. The Giga Chad Butler? The bartender guy? Isaiah's like rival or whatever, the man with the broken bones and all that. Yeah, he's based, man. Crispin Freeman did the dub on. Did you watch the dub or the sub? I watched the dub. I liked the dub for it. But yeah. Sub, okay, yeah. I won't mention the voice actors then, because I remember the voice actors before their actual names. It was Daisuke. Oh, okay. Oh, Badler? That's a good one. Yeah, that's Crispin Freeman he's kind of does that a little bit. That's who. I don't remember the name of the guy though. Isaiah was the bad guy. Because the bartender dude would always yell, fucking Isaiah! Yeah, he was like fun. Because he had the super strength and shit. Shizuo. There you go. A lot of fun characters. I wish they would have adapted all of Bakuno. I'm pretty sure Bakuno had like more in the novels. That one was really good too. Just similar delivery, but you know, more serious in a different setting. So the author who wrote Durara and Bakuno, he writes Fate Strange Fake, right? I'm pretty sure. That's the only reason I'm interested in it. It's because I like Bakuno and Durara. So like maybe Fate Strange Fake's gonna actually be like good, like when it's done. I don't know. I don't know how good it is right now. I'm always holding out that Fate won't suck, but it usually does now. Yeah, Isaac and Miriam were based. I think my favorite was the Rail Tracer guy though. I always liked him. And then Isaac and Miriam were really good. But the Rail Tracer was just too keen on him. Bakuno had a good dub too. These people are just gonna kick. How fucking aggro can he be to just like wanna fucking, like this random dude says, "Hey, you help me," and then there's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass even though you're not related." I'm kicking ass like wild animal. I mean, I know Yakuza is just like, Jesus, they couldn't even make them slightly like real people in any fucking way, shape, or form. Just total fucking dudes, man. Man, being able to grab out of like a string of light combos is so good. Grabbing out of like a strong is really good too. And it totally makes a lot of the annoyances of fucking Yakuza combat disappear. Because they can't like counter grab really. Like he's not like insanely fun, but there's a lot less like annoying cheese you gotta deal with. Although I haven't fought any bosses. They might be annoying. That's always the problem. I also don't like that he's weapon. Like he gets like a lot of buffs when he uses weapons. Because weapons are a pain in the ass in this to even bother with. Like picking up shit on the ground's one thing, but I'd rather have their core kit be good. Leo the Lion. My father is the chairman of the neighborhood association. Jesus. Yep, sure do. Another trainer, huh? Hopefully I don't have to actually have a weapon he wants. Jesus, he gets a lot of his max health at the very end there. Do any of you guys have interest in playing Trials of Mana or have watched any of it? Any opinions on it? I actually don't know how it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be decent. I just don't know if I should have played the first ones. I don't think they're connected in any way story-wise, and I figured the remake is so different gameplay-wise that I'm not gonna really ruin the original feel of the first two, so I'll just play them later. They omitted multiplayer. I mean, I get that with like local multiplayer, but why not just have online multiplayer? Each person controls a character. That sounds like a very Japanese answer to that. Absolutely fucking like they probably didn't have the budget, didn't have the knowledge to make like a decent multiplayer experience or something. I mean, I get it. Okay, maybe there's like menuing and other stuff that you can't do the single player and multiplayer, but just like have the one person handle all of the text and multiplayer, you know, or single player types RPG elements, and then just have the other person just play like Tales, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's more budget. I guess I don't blame them. I guess I'm just too used to having that be like, you know, a Japanese answer. You get the fucking like Nintendo problems, right? Where like Nintendo has no excuse for having such bad online, but they still do. It's just like, that feels like it's more of a cultural thing sometimes. Because online isn't as big a deal out there, and a lot of devs just have no fucking idea or don't give a shit. I mean, which I mean, I guess is acceptable, but I don't know. I'm not gonna play I wouldn't play Trials anyways in multiplayer, and nobody would want to do it. So I do have some people who said they would do the originals in multiplayer, so maybe I'll do that, but not 3. Yeah, maybe I'm just like bitter because of how Nintendo handles it and shitty Japanese netcodes across like fighting games and Japan's general lack of giving a flying fucko about like good online, even though they have like godly internet and stuff like that. And I don't know, but it's like Japan's like tech heavy, but then like they're also still using like fax machines and like have paper records and shit. And like, I don't know. I mean, not fax machines, but like they do like really weird old shit still, don't they? Like, seem very stuck in their ways sometimes. Which, I mean, I don't think it's like a big problem. Not like saying Japanese people suck, but like, maybe that's part of it with the online. Then I'm sure there's less people who give a flying fuck about online games out there compared to like mobile or single player. But who knows? I'm just trying to figure out why a lot of Japanese things have like really wacky online stuff. I mean, stuff like Monster Hunter World and shit's fine, but that's such a huge international game. I guess at that point you kind of have to evolve a bit. Nintendo's really just the worst. They probably makes me paint like a worse picture. I don't really have a big problem with Trials not being multiplayer. I don't know how big that is for the series since I haven't really played any of them. I mean, I've played a bit of Sword. That doesn't have multiplayer either, but... Anyways, I want to play the old ones more than Trials, but I'll probably play Trials just because it's new and I can rent it. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like there's just as good or more good experiences in the AAA scene coming out of Japan than the West. I don't think they're doing anything really wrong in terms of game design. More maybe like infrastructure, like online and stuff. For all the extra budget maybe that Western games get, I don't think it always translates into quality, that's for sure. Expertise campus use, there's a bunch of firms you can farm out, help us with multiplayer in America and Japan. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, probably a different focus too. Like I said, I mean, they probably don't care as much about multiplayer online. So yeah, there's probably not as much talent and stuff like that. But you know, their single player stuff's still great. But it's definitely a far cry from when last generation everybody was saying Japanese games are dying, right? Like, had that huge boom of like Western games last gen, and then everybody's like, you know, then JRPGs weren't a big thing anymore, and I feel like a lot of Japanese devs probably floundered. They even talked about that in a lot of documentaries I watched, like the FF14 ones, and I think there was one about just Japanese game development in general that NoClip did or some shit. Oh, that was... people were saying Japanese game development was kind of dying, but they bounced back, I feel like. And I also feel like that's because people are probably getting really used to the Western style of shit, and there's still a lot of creative experiences and just solid games coming out of Japan once they found their footing again. Yeah, Monhan was portable. I don't think there was multiplayer until 3? Or Monster Hunter Portable or whatever that was. It Try had online multiplayer, which is on the Wii, but I want to say the DS one was only local. But then after that, they were all online lobbies, and now World has a little bit more advanced multiplayer matchmaking. Monster Hunter's pretty much always been portable. Not always, I guess. There's always a portable version that's like the flagship, and then they put out a console port later. Only now has it really stopped being like that. They really changed. I think World's kind of flipped Monster Hunter on its head. Leo Kun. Oh, I have to give him advice first. Any other man. Some people are like that, which is spooky. It's more naive than I thought. How does Japan decide when they've moved into like a new era, or is it like a years thing or like a leadership thing, or they just fucking go for it? Like, it's been long enough, shit seems different. I don't know how eras work and all that shit. Because they still have like new eras and stuff, don't they? Like, what era is Japan? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just like, I mean, I just play Japanese shit. I don't actually know how to. Okay, it is leadership. The current era is Raiwa, which began on May 1st, 2019. That was the final year of the Heisei era. Era names originated in China. The use of era names was derived from Chinese imperial practice. First year of Ninga starts immediately upon the Emperor's accession and ends on 31st December. I don't understand. Apparently it's usually based on the Emperor, but sometimes it is not. It's not always decided by the Emperor, but that's usually how it is. He just gives it a name. Okay. Showa was the longest era. It was 62 years. I don't know. That seems really... I'm sure it's not just some random arbitrary bullshit, but... that seems like something I'd have to look up later. Welcome to the red light district, baby. Go have sex, you fucking cock. This dude's literally buying you free sex, bro. Do it. God, what the fuck? They really like teleporting me to the other side of the map in this storyline, and then I have to fucking walk all the way back to the person. Like, we did that to get training. I probably would want to get the training right then. Raiwa Hisai show all or some combination of peace/harmony. Was there ever a time they named an era after, like, war? Surely if it's not named after an emperor, it's always going to be named after something sweet and bubbly.
時間の無駄はごめんなさい。
The hell, this guy's got anti-grab? Is that how they're gonna handle this one? Great righteousness, dude. Righteous. Wonder if this dude will just end up like a normal person when we're done. You're wearing that because you like it. Modern naming rules, calligraphy thing too. I saw pictures where they always put up like a photo that they hold. Jesus, how's this guy so out of touch? Good on him, man. He's pretty good. Oof. Almost fucking died, man. When you're talking so much, you're fucking... spit in the mouth and shit. I just had a breath, and then some spit, like, I guess, flew down my fucking pipe, man. Jesus. My throat hurt. Fucking counter. we'll do another life thing. Might teleport me near a restaurant. Just wear like a godly suit. Watching TV, playing video game. Common vernacular. Job, girls, hobby. He's got hobbies. I mean, a job would be helpful. Talking to girls wouldn't be bad either. The host club. Your number one gal. $1.5 million again as much. Jesus. Mr. Richie Rich, dude. Okay, it did teleport me. Works. We'll get this guy's training, I guess, for fun. We'll go through his little story, but after that, it's pretty much his main story for the rest of the game. Which is good. about what I'm ready for. Chocolate parfait, beef curry. Alright. Next up, oop, the squatters, man. I wanna deal with that. I'm guessing the last thing I'll do is change his outfit. You do so much grab ass with this guy, man. I actually end up being pretty effective. Because the super blocking nature of every fucking person in Yakuza kind of goes out the window with grabs. I don't have to take 10 years to do it. I mean, it feels kind of cheesy, but... Hey, what's up, Lassie? How's Valorant been? Sure did. Appreciate you coming in here to unwind. How's your Yakuza playthroughs been since you started up your Yakuza playthroughs not too long ago? 2 solo games, a little frustrating with no team playing stuff. Can't wait till I can open... Oh, you have to unlock the ranked mode? Do you have a group of people you're gonna play with, or you're just gonna be going in solo for the most part? Solo queue. Okay, yeah. That's fair. 80% done. Call me too? Okay, cool. I didn't realize you're on too, actually. Yeah, that outfit's pretty special. How long is a game of Valorant anyways? Couldn't CSGO matches get like really long? "24 rounds, first to get to 13 wins." It sounds like a lot to me, but I don't know how long each of those last. I mean, I guess it's just search and story type of thing. Not too long. Best of 30. So a little shorter. It's definitely tried to speed up or shorten the general match length in League of Legends back in the day. Probably works better overall for people. More casual times. Means more people can kind of fit that in whenever and do a few rounds. They were like 4-hour matches. There probably wouldn't be that many people playing like League. I think a long thing is fun for sure, but I could definitely see the appeal of best of 24 over 30 or something like that, because you could just go into another one, you know? I think if I wanted to play something longer, it'd probably be something that's not round based, maybe. Yeah. I assume they definitely chose 24 not on accident, man. Worked with League, I'm sure they're using that same success for Valorant. Shorten the length of the matches and all that. Doesn't even look that fancy. Yeah. What do people generally think about CSGO match length? Is it like their complaints that it's too long, or I'm guessing it's not a big deal since it's so popular. Keep up with the word of mouth as much on it. I don't think most people care. Yeah. I couldn't say since I don't play enough myself, but I just imagine about it. So how long is it? Usually like around if Valorant's like 50 minutes like a match, or are they pretty short? I mean, maybe it's like, 30 something. Probably better games you want to run and gun? Yeah, no, definitely for people who want to spend a lot of time. What's up, Anthony? Tokyo's just like this with heaps of smart people? Yeah, I've been. Definitely a shitload of people, though. It's very dense for as big as it is. I don't know what city this is supposed to be based on here, though. I don't remember. This might be near Tokyo. We'll be in Tokyo in the final chapter, I think, but I don't remember which city this is supposed to be. We'll see. 90 minutes. 25. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense there'd be a big range. $40 to $50. Okay. I guess in Valorant's like more like 30 something. chick just like fell in. He doesn't want you to do grab in this one. Pretty decent strat in the other ones. Mr. Grab Ass. Max Thrift Mastery. Increases your durability, I'm guessing. I don't really use the weapons on him as much. I don't mind his like slower pace, kinda grab game going on here. Grab and then like when he gets up doing like tackles and shit like that. It's fun enough. More fun on a boss than you're normally gonna have in Yakuza, so might as well keep rolling with that. His biggest problem is his personality though. He's not wrong. Go pick up some chicks, my dude. Turn this man into a fucking badass bachelor, man. The best way to flirt with the girl. Like, do you already know her? Don't you have to introduce, man? Her maiden. Jesus, he's a little too poetic here, man. This guy's a badass, man. Yeah, that's a pretty shitty chick. Oh yeah. Is there like some requirements for voice chat or anything on ranked, or you just expect people to probably be taking it more seriously, so there'll be more talks, more comms? And yeah, I mean that's what I would do. I would just be running around like a fucking asshole. I don't know if I'd be caring too much about getting into the nitty gritty. I'm sure it'd be fun to get good and start getting into the team based shit, but don't know if I care enough. We'll see. Maybe. Might give it a try at some point. Yeah, no doubt. Sucks you kind of have to play that to unlock ranked. I mean, I guess they want you to like get some familiarity with the game before you try ranked, but if you don't want to do that, then you're just gonna get ranked low. So I feel like there's already a system in place for it, but whatever. Cool. It's probably how it usually is, right? I mean, in League, that's how it was when I did a little bit of rank. The worst place to be was just kind of like middle of the pack or lower. Everybody thinks they're pros, but they don't. They're not actually here, you know? They don't communicate what they expect, a lot of shit, and really bad fucking stuff going on. I always thought it would probably be really hard to practice like good strategies in a team game where everybody in your team is not doing that. I never had to practice. If I ever could, just in a perfect world, like get good at something, I'd always want to be like up against like the better people, right? You can learn or be partnered with good people to learn, right? I feel like individual skill probably is important, but in a team game, it's like you need to like understand that kind of environment, I guess, and the strategies. The league was always weird. Not that I did much ranked. I'm not really competitive. I mean, I don't mind like versing people or playing online games or anything, but I'm not like a very just competitive person in general. Like I would play some ranked, but I don't think I'd be like insanely serious. Basic comms, understand what your character needs to do helps tons, yeah, for sure. And that's what killed League, was the community was just so fucking bad. There was none of that. There was no just general sense of people wanting to like get better or help each other or win or anything. It was always just like every man for himself. What is with these fucking counters, man? This is annoying as fuck. I'm not even attacking, he can still do that to me? What the fuck? I'm just gonna have to fucking get him in the loops and shit here. Kick his ass! That fucking like tiger drop he does is ridiculous, man. I don't even have to attack to fucking get hit by it. And he just spams it if you're not putting him in like a fucking loop. Classic Yakuza though. Fucking cheese fucking wheels for days on the bosses, man. You have to cheese them back, man. I wanted to try some new moves on him, but at this point we need to just fucking get him the cheesy loops. Like that shit, like how do you even counter that? Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest problems with I feel like the combat in general, is that I feel like the fundamentals aren't really good in Yakuza. Oh, that made me sicker. I've never had something like that. Like the fundamentals aren't good. The only thing that saves the game from being overly cheesy difficult is that you could just spam health. Yeah. Like, they're not hard games, even without the health things, but they're not very satisfying when you come up against, like, a hard boss, because I feel like I said, the fundamentals of the game just aren't, like, that fun. So every boss just ends up being just super cheesy. You just spend your time, like, on the ground half the time. I don't know, I've talked about it quite a bit over the last few days, but like that shit. Yeah, like the game's really at its best when you're just fighting like generic goons. Because there's enough variety and they don't have infinite blocks and all that, and you can kind of like freely pick different moves that aren't as effective just because they're more fun, you know? But on boss, it's like, I feel like you just gotta like find cheese. Because generally long strings get blocked. They can start blocking mid-combo. They can like put you in grabs that start and end before you finish a single jab, and just a bunch of shit like that. It's not very satisfying against bosses. It's not because they're hard because they're designed well. It's hard because I feel like the fundamentals of the game and the design of the bosses are just not entertaining. Yeah, exactly. I would rather have bosses have more give and take. Like, the best bosses are the ones that you can hit a bunch, but they can hit you and stuff. I would rather have a much more punishing game that had more of a focus or more of an allowance for you to play more defensively or maybe dodge more and actually have it matter. Like, maybe have more cancels and shit. But that when you could dodge and block, you could put them into a combo afterwards, right? Instead of, like, these impenetrable bosses that just put you in really cheesy damage states and stuff, and I don't know. Like it kind of plays like an old ass beat 'em up or something, but just if the old ass beat 'em up had every single boss infinitely block everything it did. Yeah, really. Yeah, we'll see how 6 is and stuff. I mean, Judgment and Kiwami 2 aren't really much different, and that's on the same engine, so when it came to annoying enemy design, I'd say 3 was the most annoying combat and design, mainly because the combat's very crude in 3. I mean, it's the same combat throughout the whole series, but like, there's less moves. It feels like even more, you know, rough around the edges and shit in 3. So it sucks even more when you come up against like annoying shit. Yeah, I just don't like that Yakuza bosses are more annoying than they are hard. And I feel like they try to get by that shitty boss design by just, yeah, giving you lots of health items. There's some bosses that are good. It's usually bosses that let you do a little bit of both. It's just a shame the game's at its most fun when it's like this easy. You're just shitting on goons. But there's not that many bosses in this game, each game, so it's not really a huge deal. Like, you're definitely beating up goons more than anything. Like, they know it's probably fun, but it'd be nice to see Yakuza actually get like decent action game combat, or maybe something more akin to old beat 'em ups. Instead of like just how it is here. Like, it definitely feels like old beat 'em up, but it's a little, I feel like it needs to be a little less cheeseball sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. For sure. We were talking about it a day or two ago about resource management and how they handle it, and a lot of moves in these games all are tied to the same button. I feel like they could utilize more buttons on the controller to give you more control of what moves you want to do when. Like, your heat action is on triangle, but so is your stomp, and so is your super heat action in this, and so is fucking just about everything. And, you know, it could be like a different action game where you can choose to do any of those at any time, and I feel like having that freedom of control and having the enemy design be kind of more receptive to allowing you to actually do things, like, instead of just being able to block mid. Like, there's no point doing a really long combo unless you're just doing it in the air so you can do the strongs at the end. Because the enemies just block mid combo. Like, they can just block mid combo. It's like, I'd rather have it be like a fighting game where, like, I could open them up and confirm off of shit, at least, so I can, like, do a fun combo or something. Or, like, maybe in certain instances they can start blocking or something, sure, but like maybe go in a super mode like in Qs or whatever where they can break out of shit, but they can only do it every now and then. But yeah, exactly. And that's what this guy's is kind of like. You can do a lot more grabbing and stuff to like get them to not, because you know in a fighting games like they block a lot. You can go up and grab them, right? Like you can do a lot of grabbing on this guy, and his tackle's kind of like a running grab, and I think that allows you to break free from some of the usual Yakuza annoying shit with this guy. But there's still like stuff like that where he does a 1 inch counter, even when I don't do anything, right? So yeah, exactly. And I mean, even on the goons, that'd be fine to have this style, but just make it so that there is that level. Like make the goons easy so you wouldn't have to do that kind of depth if you didn't want to. But when the big guys come out, you know, you have those options. You got to pick, have like a more measured fight. I mean, I'd prefer, yeah, I mean, if the goons were a little bit more, yeah, you had to think a little bit more like in a fighting game or something. I don't know. That's why I don't mind that they're switching the next game to turn-based. I think that while the gameplay is fun and like a turn your brain off kind of way, because it's not really like hard either, um, I think that I'd really rather just prefer them like really execute well on the gameplay in one of these. Like if they're not gonna spend the time to make like a good action game, by all means try turn-based. And if they do turn-based well, then that's cool. Yeah, for sure, Lassie. There'd have to be less goons and stuff. A big part of Yakuza is doing a lot of like heat actions and fucking up lots of goons and like AoE attacks and stuff. But yeah, the bigger guys would be cool. I mean, like an old beat 'em up, right? Like you beat up a lot of normal guys and you like pick up items and you handle them in special ways, like Streets of Rage and shit. But then the big guys, you got to be smarter and play more measured, but maybe have more like fighting game mechanics and not just like simple, you know, jabs and jumps and stuff. I mean, shit, they could have jumps in these would be like crazy. That'd probably break the game. Yeah, for sure. Guardians was good, man. We'll have to play more, man. I'd like to. I had fun with Streets of Rage 4 and shit. I'd like to play some other old boys. I'm gonna go eat. Yeah. That game has no business being as complex as it is, but I think the variety of the characters and the level, the variety and all that kind of made it, like, it just made it fun. It didn't matter. I mean, it's cool you could do all those things, but it wasn't necessary for a casual playthrough, so. Adds more depth, which I think is fine. But yeah. Yeah, I wasn't gonna end up playing long enough to learn all that. Well, I said my favorite side scroll beat 'em up is so far I'd say Odin's Fury of Life browser or whatever the fuck it is. I think the combat in that game is just like crazy good. It's super fun. It's not as like measured and, you know, slower paced like a lot of beat 'em up, but it's just fun, man. It's more like you're playing. I mean, it's more like an MVC3 kind of thing where you're just trying to do insane combos and stuff. But it's really fucking fun. I've always thought about rebuying that just to play it. I really like the combat. I've got issues with the entire game, but overall, I really like it. I just love you so much. You're just after my money, right? Alright, man. You enjoy. Yep, that's cool, brother. I think it's gonna go well. The way he talks and how he acts is too fucked. So I imagine we walk far enough away and it'll spawn back. The final battle. And here we go. Why is he not using his fucking Tonfa counter thing? This was his easiest form before. See what he's added to his kit. Oh, he's got everything this time. The top. His girlfriend. Does she, or does she just like his money, dude? When the first thing somebody you talk to says is how impressed they are with your money, I don't think you're working. Probably a chick that was working. Secret. I might have to do some batting in the main story, so guess I'll look into that. I doubt it, but maybe. I might go heat up one of my sandwiches. Grab a drink here in a minute. See what the cost of the shit is in the pawn stop, the pawn shop first. I don't think since I'm max level, it might not matter what my gear actually is. I'm not sure.
いらっしゃいませ。ありがとう。いらっしゃいませ。
My performance, my grip, Ashwood. 19k.
ありがとう。
Might as well. I don't really need him, but. Let me check my door. I'll pick up the hamster shit in a bit. It's right in the middle of the town. I'd rather just take the taxi to the story first. I doubt we'll be doing any batting super soon. Alright, let me go get my food and drink, and then we'll continue. Probably take me like 5 minutes or something here. Microwave and all that. So. Alright, back in a few minutes. Trigun on the SMT playlist. And was it? What did it end up being like? A bunch of SMT songs. Weird. SMT Trigun, SMT. That is odd. Really? Pretty low chances of that. I mean, I do have a lot of SMT4 on there. It's really good. But there's a lot of songs. Yeah, man, shit. Get a new beanie or start wearing my hair out more. Like lazy mode, right? Where it's like I don't really care too much. Fucking hobo. Want a cutscene so I can eat.
Ohayo, 高杉さん。今日も早いっすね。
お前、ずいぶんすっきりした顔してんじゃねえかよ。風俗嬢に一発寝てもらったのか、お前。
ま、似たところかな。
あの男の依頼、受ける覚悟がついたんだな。
もう過去から逃げたりしない。どうせ逃げられっこないんだ。どうして俺が球界を永久追放されなきゃならなかったのか突き止めてみせるよ。
そもそも野球賭博に関係してると疑われたきっかけは何なんだ。当時ニュースになったとはいえ15年も前のことだ。俺もよく覚えちゃいねえし、少し説明してくれねえか。
15年前のワイバーンズギガンツ戦、9回裏2アウト一打サヨナラのチャンスにワイバーンズ藤田監督が代打に送ったのは、それがプロ初打席となる無名のルーキー、つまり俺だった。対するピッチャーはギガンツのエース沢田。沢田の必要なカーブを俺はカットして粘り、そして運命の7球目、沢田が初めて投げたストレートを俺のバットが捉え、打球はスタンド席に吸い込まれていった。俺の人生で最高の瞬間だった。
だがそのホームランにケチがついた。
そう、その翌日、あのサヨナラホームランが不正行為、サイン等の結果によるものだったとして取り消されたんだ。相手チームのサインは見てはいけない。見えたとしても解読しようとしてはいけない。それが野球の掟なんだ。
お前がサイントを行っていたという証拠でも出てきたのか。 VTR に映ってたとか。
いや、そういうわけじゃない。
ならどうして。
俺がギガンツのサインを盗むように命令して、スタンド席からそれを俺に伝えるように指示されていたという男が名乗り出たんだ。そいつの証言が元でプロ野球連盟と警察が捜査に乗り出したってわけ。
誰なんだそいつは。
俺の高校の野球部の後輩だった。俺から多額の金をもらって引き受けたけど、両親が咎め自首したんだってさ。
だがお前はそんな命令をした覚えはないと。
当然でしょ。金を渡すどころか何年も顔を合わせてなかったのに。
じゃあそいつがお前に濡れ衣を着せたってことか。なんでまた。
さあね、俺もなんでそんな嘘ついたのか その後輩を問い詰めたけど、結局何も聞き出せなかった。そのすぐ後、そいつは行方不明になっちまったし。
なんだと？まさか他の誰かに消されたってことなのか？
さあ、それはどうだろう。どちらにしろ、俺一人では真相を探れそうにもなかった。とにかく俺はその日からずっと自分の過去から目を背け、風俗ライターとして生きてきたんだ。
はあ。ん？お前、さっき警察の捜査に乗り出したって言ったか？サイン党ってそんなに重い罪なのか？
ことが野球賭博に関係していると見られたからね。一選手が打率を上げたいがためにやったことならまだしも、でかい金が動く組織的な賭博容疑になっちまったし、挙句チーム全体にまで捜査の手は伸びることになった。
ってことは、ひょっとしたらお前個人への恨みとかじゃなく、ワイバーンズを潰すために仕込まれた罠だったって可能性もあるってことか？
そうだとしたら、それは結果的に失敗だね。あの事件で休会を追われたのはチームでも俺だけ。それにあとは藤田監督が騒動の責任を取らされ、辞任に追い込まれただけだ。
藤田か。そういや昨日のニュース見たか？東京で監督に復帰したみたいだな。15年前にワイバーンズの監督を辞任してからずいぶん長かったな。
この人はあの一件で俺以上に人生を狂わせちまった人なんだよ。あんなに俺によくしてくれたっていうのに。
お前が一軍にいたのが1日だけならそこまで世話になる関係もねえだろう。
そんなことない。二軍で腐りかけていた俺を見つけてくれたのが藤田さんだったんだ。
The piano music.
二軍の指導
I'm just gonna say, I feel like generic piano music that's supposed to be sad like this is so overdone that it invokes the opposite response usually in me nowadays. I don't know if anybody else gets fucking feeling more emotional when you get like a very obvious music cue like this. It's like so it just pops in as soon as he starts talking about his history, and it's just like, I don't know, I guess in Yakuza it's so just like, it's just not smoothly even like carried in at all, that like it's so obvious what the cue's for that it is hard to even get into it. Yeah, I mean, if it's smoothly transitioned into and the song isn't like the most generic sappy piano shit, then I guess it's fine. But it's just like, I guess it's mainly Accuser. Not that I don't like the story, I just definitely don't need the extra fucking shake and bake here of having the song on top of it. Man, I feel like his words alone would probably be stronger than some fucking happy OST, but I don't know. A dark history, a tragic backstory.
俺本来の良さが出ないって言って直々に指導してくれて、
Because in Yakuza,
そ
like,
のアドバイスがあって
they just start and stop music in some of these scenes, especially the side quests. Usually in the main story it's fine, but a lot of the side quests, they'll just start and stop. Boom, 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 like the music, and like you can tell what the general idea of the scene's supposed to be, but I feel they just they oversell it sometimes. Jammed up a bit, which I mean is part of the fun in Yakuza, but the sappy parts, I feel like hamming them up doesn't really do much for me. Hamming up like the shonen manly macho shit's fun, but Yakuza mood building, seriously. I mean, in Zero, it was mostly good. The characters are written pretty well, and a lot of the scenes are cool. I mean, it's definitely a hammed up, cheesy series in general, so you kind of have to go into that expecting it. So it's fun when it's like that. But a lot of the side quests, especially as you go through these, and some of even the main stories, are like really just boom, boom, boom. The pace change of the mood changes a lot. Like it's still pretty well written. I don't mean it like that, but it's just like You can tell they're trying to, like, especially in the side quests, do like big, or they're trying to make like an entire arc of like sadness and backstory and all that stuff. And sometimes there's not enough writing there to really deliver that. So a lot of the music cues try to make up for it. It just feels like weak occasionally. Not a big deal, but I mean, it's cool they even try to have like legitimate stories in the side quests and developments and stuff, but every single side quest can't just be like, you can't expect every single one of them to have like a full fucking stories like arc and resolution and stuff. It's kinda, yeah, it's silly more than anything. I just feel like the sad, silly shit is harder to get behind than the other silly shit. That's part of the Yakuza charm though, really. It's not like a huge deal, I just kinda noticed it here. Yeah, you have to enjoy the superhero like cheese and melodrama as you go through the series too, because it gets more and more hammed up. It's definitely more like a Days of Our Lives with like Yakuza, but then also superhero power levels and shit. Oh, is Shenmue more subtle? Oh, is it more grounded and shit for the most part? Or Yakuza's like super exaggerated for fun? I want to play Shenmue, I just don't know when I'll get around to it. Like I said yesterday, I've played so many Yakuza games and I feel like I'm gonna need a break after this one or after 6 that I don't know if I'll get around to a similar one like Shenmue. Yeah, I feel like that'll be where the cheese comes from, but maybe not the tone as much. Like I'm sure the voice acting and shit's really special. Did they get the same voice actors back for 3? Wonder in that long of a time if you get better as a voice actor or if you even voice act anymore, right? Like, okay. Well, I guess I'll find out when we play them all.
俺は一軍に上がれたようなもんなんだ。
恩師みたいなもん。
See, I feel like this scene wouldn't feel as like obviously sappy if they didn't have the music. It could just be like, oh, this is kind of sad what he's saying or kind of heartfelt or something. But because of the music, it makes everything they say seem like it's overkill. I don't know. I guess that's the power of music, man. It can set a scene, but can also fuck a scene, right?
ものだったってことか。
Well, not fuck. It's not like this is bad. I don't mean any of this bad.
藤田監督を失脚させるために俺を
Definitely
利用したって可能性もあ
overbaked,
ったのか。
People always say Yakuza is like a fucking soap opera. Pretty much is.
恩をあだで返すってこういうことを言うんだね。
まあ本当の狙いが誰であれ事件の裏で必ず得した人間がいるはずだ。ってなきゃ無名の選手をはめる理由なんてねえからな。とりあえずだ、当時のチームメイトとかに片っ端から聞いて回るっていうのはどうだ。
球団を辞めてからチームメイトとは一切連絡取ってないんだ。さっきも言ったようにあの一件でチーム全体にも野球賭博疑惑がかかったりして今さら合わせる顔もないって感じなんだけどね。唯一知ってるとしたら球団専属のマッサージ師だった人が金栄町にいるんだ。
マッサージ師？おい、それってもしかしてお前が金を借りてるあいつのことか。
Who know?
宇野さん、今小さな鍼灸院やってる風俗ぐらいなんだ
Erotic
けど
massage addict.
チームメイトからの信頼は熱い人だった。
Look at my fucking dick
その鍼灸院の場所は
slapped.
オ
My
ビータ
Uno,
通りと紬通りの交差してるあたり。
my muscle
早速行ってみ
massaged,
ます。
as our boy Shinada would say. I kind of like this loan shark guy. Like he just wants his money, and like he's kind of an asshole, but like it's one of those like he's like subtly like kind of helping him, but he's kind of like a lovable asshat. But like I don't know if he could actually be full evil. He's kind of like mixed right now. It's hard to tell. Kind of makes him interesting. Like, he's not like the usual, like, caricature, pretty much, of where they have the fucking, you know, loan shark or Yakuza guy be, like, super fucking evil and, like, this almost just totally unreal level of, like, person. They're just, like, so extreme and evil, like, it's obvious what they are. There's a little bit more in between here. It's kind of cool.
ここか。意外と小綺麗じゃないか。
いるかな、宇野さ
We'll
ん。
see, though. I mean, we haven't had that much with
入り
him,
ます
so
か。
hard to say. Hard to say.
宇野さん、いる？
Uno-san.
留守。戸締まりもしねえで、のんきなやつだよ。
宇野さん、またどっかの風俗行ってるな。
だったら、ここで待つとしよう。すっきりしたら戻ってくんだろ。
それが今、宇野さん、すっきりできるお金ないんじゃないかな。俺から3万回収しようとしてたくらいだから。
じゃあ、何しに風俗行ってんだよ。
そんな時は決まって写真見学回り。永遠にお店をはしごして写真を見てるよ。
じゃあ、いつ帰ってくるかもわからねえじゃないかよ。
探しに行くしかないね。
禁煙に何店舗あると思ってんだよ、お前。
宇野さんは新人好きだから、新しい子が入った店をしらみつぶしに探していけば会えるはず。
ん
Thing is, Shinada's promised 20 million, and he only owes this guy like 1.3 million. So he could be in it to take the rest, who knows? But I don't know how illegal he is, or if he's just a hard ass loan shark within legality, though. Momoe-chan's 29 years old with a hefty pair of D's. Try to have a pair of D's, boys. Got one small D, man. Yeah, we'll try this place. No idea which is which, we're just going. Operation Panties. Rub and tug.
いえ。
I did do Uno-san shuffling around with the stiffy in his slacks so close to home. I mean, this place is like 2 feet away. There's no reason to not check it first. Unlikely that it's it because it's so close though.
いえ。
遊ぶ気もあれせんのに来るんじゃにゃーよ。
なんでだよ。冷やかし大歓迎って表に書いてるだろ。
これでも30分も写真だけ見とるやつがどこにおる。
お、見つけた。
品田、返せ。すぐ俺の3万返せ。本物の新人発見したんだ。しかも業界未経験、平成生まれ。
働きなよ、宇野さん。鍼灸院ほったらかしてこんなことばっかりしてるから。
てめえが言ったことか。さあ返せ。
ちょっと待って、今日は聞きたいことがあって。
金が先だ。
俺が立て替えて払ってやる。
いや、いいっすよ、そんな。
なんで風俗行けるんだから立て替えてもらおうよ。
俺はお前と違ってヤバいやつには関わりたくないんだよ。
別に借りるわけじゃなくて返してもらうんだから。
やなこって。ああいうやつは一度関わると骨の髄まで食い物にされちまう。だがお前からいつかきっちり返してもらうからな。
What the hell?
参ったな。唯一の手がかりなのに。
品田、あいつの携帯番号教えろ。
え？
もしもーし。宇野鍼灸医さんですか？実は今から施術をお願いしたいんですが、はい、一番長いコースで、はい、よろしくお願いします。あのエロ親父、風俗代が手に入ると思ってウキウキしてたぞ。
じゃあ鍼灸院に戻りますか。
おっ、
Well, now. Well.
品田、大丈夫か？
なんとか。
危うく死ぬとこだったぞ。
Somebody already trying to stop them?
全くどうなってんだ。
Would glass falling from that height kill you? I mean, I guess if it hits you square on the head, it might.
Oi, oi, 大丈夫かよ。
多分。
なんなんだ今日は。運が悪いにも程があるぞ。
俺も帰りたくなってきた。
Is hasn't even started actually doing anything yet. Like no info. He's just talking to his friend, like he does every day.
あ、いるいる。
単純なやつだ。
いらっしゃい。で、お前か。
お金ならちゃんと払うよ。
あの闇金屋の金だろ？
その闇金屋ならここにいるけど。
宇野さんの客としてなら問題ないでしょ。
横になれ。15年ぶりだな。お前の体を見るのは。
俺も性感以外のマッサージを受けるのは現役の時以来だよ。宇野さん以外に筋
Why are we
肉
getting
触
a
られ
real
たくなかった
massage?
しね。
トレーナー冥利に尽きる言葉だ。
宇野さん、どうして球団専属辞めちゃったの？宇野さんほど腕のいいトレーナーはそうはいない。球団も必死に引き止めたでしょうに。
チームに帯同して日本中の風俗巡りできるのは良かったんだがな。朝が早かっただろ。だから早朝割引が使えなかったのが悔しくてな。まあそういう面じゃ今の方がありがてえよ。
まった、こんな時まで冗談言わないの。
クビになったんだよ俺も。15年前お前が追放されたのとほとんど同時期だ。俺の他にいい球団専属トレーナーが見つかったからって突然電話で解雇を言い渡されたんだ。開幕前に契約延長して少なくともそのシーズンは専属が決まってたってのに、その直後いきなりクビだなんて言われたんだ。
知らなかった。
お互い過去の話はしなかったからな。それなりに花のあった野球界から突然掘り出されて、何が何だかわからないまま気づけば15年。こんな生活もお互い板についたもんだよな。で、聞きたかった話ってこんなことか？
いや、宇野さんさ、例えばの話なんだけど、俺が球界を追放になって誰か得した人っていると思う？
どうした？お前からそんな話振ってくるなんて珍しいな。得をした人間いるわけねえだろ。監督、選手、ファン、誰もいいことなんてあれしなかった。おまけにヤクザまで損したもんだ。
ヤクザ？
覚えてねえか？お前の八百長容疑がきっかけになって野球賭博が一斉摘発されたの。
ああ、そういや。
当時この辺りで賭博の利権を持ってた2つの組もよ、摘発のせいでしのぎ削れなくなって名古屋から撤退したって話だ。
2つの組？
ああ、東と西のでっかい組だよ。
東上会と近江連合だっけ？昨日牛島さんの店でその組の人たち見たよ。
お前、あん時のプロ野球選手だってバレたらぶっ殺されてもおかしくないぜ。
大丈夫だよ。禁営で俺の過去を知ってるのは宇野さんだけだし。
なんであんなことが起きちまったんだろうな。みんなただ野球をやってただけなのに。
I mean, who would benefit out of that then? Some kind of group that would want to move in on territory now that they've left. That kind of thing. Or the police.
何が野球賭博だよ。
結局宇野さんに聞いても手がかりなしか。
よし、調整完了。
ああ、久しぶり。体軽くなった。
当たり前だろ。俺を誰だと思ってんだよ。
悪いね、宇野さん。変なことばっか聞いちゃって。
ま、おかげで風俗代稼げたぜ。
じゃ、ありがと
う。ん？おい、品田。携帯忘れちまってんぞ。
な。 宇野さん？
思い出した。まさかあの時の携帯のせいなのか。
携帯がどうかしたんですか？
ほら、さっき話したろ。15年前俺が突然クビになった時のことだ。実はあの時も今みたいに選手がマッサージルームに忘れていった携帯を届けたことがあったんだ。
はあ、誰の携帯？
あれはそう確か真鍋だ。真鍋の携帯だった。
ああ、真鍋さん？
真鍋っつったら当時ワイバーンズの4番を打ってたあの真鍋か。
そうだ。あの時真鍋は携帯をなくして大騒ぎしていたんだ。これ誰の携帯だ？その日マッサージルームに忘れてあった携帯を見つけた俺は急いでロッカールームに持って行った。そしたら、
おい、どこだ？俺の携帯がなくなっとるぞ。誰か知らんか？おい！
真鍋さん、これ。
タケ！なんでてめえが持ってるんだ？ああ！
真鍋は俺から携帯を取り上げると必死になって何かをチェックした。ちょっと真鍋さん、ありがとうの一言ぐらい言ってくれても。ちょっと真鍋さん、
それよりおめえ携帯の中見てねえだろうな。
あの時の真鍋の目、あれは普通のもんじゃなかった。
携帯の中には何があったんだ？
さあ、あの頃は俺もまだ自分の携帯なんて持ってなかったから使い方がよく分からず何も見やしなかった。だが今思えばあの時の真鍋の態度はちょっと変だった。
ひょっとしてその携帯野球賭博に関係していたとか、メールで指示が来ていたとか。
ありえるな。あんたは野球賭博に関するメールを見たと疑われ、それで球団をクビになった。
そうか、そういうことだったのか。
真鍋さんを調べてみる必要がありそうだね。
Sure he's in town.
今何してるかわかる？
確か5年ぐらい前に引退したよな。
ああ、その後いろいろ事業を起こしたんだがことごとく全部失敗して、今は狩場町で小さな焼肉屋をやってる。
焼肉屋か。
一度食いに行ってやったら追い返された。そう思うとますます怪しく感じてきたな。